Welcome, everybody, to Screen Time Continuum on this lovely Wednesday evening. I want to say afternoon, but evening. And tonight we will be wrapping up season one of Sweet Tooth on Netflix. How you guys doing?
Yeah. Happy Wednesday. It is not Odin's Day, but it's still a good Wednesday. How are you, man?
Yes, I'm doing good. A bit tired, but hey, we're here and we're rocking and rolling. Let's do
Mm.
this.
Yeah, let's get this Wednesday knockdown, man.
So let's see. Let's do a quick synopsis of the last two episodes. So jumping into episodes 7 and 8, or coming to the conclusion of this season, we finally get a chance to see how things got started right before the sick got popping, I guess. And we
Mm-hmm.
also get some final questions and background stories on certain characters and a little bit of twists and turns and a little bit of surprises as we end out the season with certain characters like, oh, this character is linked to this and that person, and okay, let's definitely see how things are gonna, start off at the beginning of season two when that gets, renewed and well, it's renewed, but get
Hmm.
ready to go whenever they're ready to shoot and put these out on Netflix. So, what you guys think? Because I know you guys had some theories. I didn't say anything, and
Yeah, you know what? I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. I think it was a pretty satisfying. It obviously left a big cliffhanger, and it leaves the story kind of in the middle of, I mean, it's not complete, so we know that a season two is coming for sure. But so far I enjoyed. I like the little tiny twists that happened, and I'm looking forward to seeing where the story takes us.
Definitely. I think I am right alongside Nick here. Like you said, Dejan definitely had some theories and some thoughts leading in. Anything that wasn't answered, I didn't notice. I'll just say that. Um, but definitely excited to know how season two is going to begin. Specific, like I just want to know. There's some information that I feel like once we got to the end of this season, I did think to myself, man, I could have got more out of this, or I could have gotten more out of that. And so I'm excited to see if some of those things pick up in season two. But as far as my expectations for how season one would end, honestly, I think I thought a lot of things very close to home. Definitely some large surprises, but one thing I can say is from the beginning, we felt like everyone that they were giving us would be and or was connected in some way. And we kept saying that there were character developments and we were waiting for more characters to be introduced. I can firmly say we might be down to only one or two more characters need be added because we're moving into a new season. Um, and I think maybe even really one because one of them was introduced to us somewhat at the very end of season of episode 8.
Mm. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. I think to be honest, if I didn't already know that a second season was on its way, I might be a little bit disappointed at the lack of resolution.
Hmm.
But
mm,
I'm kind of seeing this series as a trilogy. So I would assume there's probably going to be 3 seasons to it. So if this is considered like the first, movie in a trilogy, then yeah, it did exactly what it did. It's hooking me. I want to see the second season. Um, and I mean, it might be more than 3 seasons, but I can't
Oh yeah.
imagine that it would be. I don't know.
Well,
and I agree with you, and I hope so.
I have a question, Dejan, because I know you're more familiar with the source material of the comic. How many issues is that? I don't remember.
Oh, geez, I would have to look it up. I'll have to look it up right quick.
Hmm.
Hmm,
Okay,
that's a
I'll
good
I'll find
question.
out and I'll bring it back up later.
Yeah, let me look that up real quick because I forgot how many issues. Why am I doing this on the computer? I'm so sorry. But yeah, I like these comics, especially these, because at least these writers know
46.
when the beginning, when to begin and end these things, and not like you're reading Spider-Man or X-Men, and you're talking about 1,000 plus. And
Right.
stuff is not as linear to depending on who's writing it.
Right. So I'm looking right here. It says Sweet Tooth Vertigo Comics, 46 issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, yeah, we
So
can
that's-
definitely get 3 seasons. I don't know if we can get 4 or 5 out of 46 issues.
Hmm.
Well, and it also depends on how far they went into the source material, because I'm not really familiar with the Sweet Tooth comics.
They went pretty far, and it's interesting, and it's like, you know, stuff we've covered, like Invincible. And when I read Invincible, I'm like, okay, you guys covered, holy shit, almost 5 volumes of Invincible, and plus
Wow.
cut some shit out. Then it's the same thing with The Boys. That's why when I look at The Boys, we're about to hit season 3. I'm like, you guys should be wrapping this up right now.
Here comes the new direction and the extra writing, huh?
Running out of source material.
And that's what I'm thinking Sweet Tooth would turn into. Looking at 46 issues, halfway through season 3, that's where we'll be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you think that every issue is an episode, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, or at least every episode is about 2.
I mean, excuse me, I think every 10.
Yeah.
No, okay, yes, I get what you're saying. Yeah, I say every 10 issues is about a season.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe 12. And that's just because, you know, for content's sake, you're going to have to skip some things because you can be a lot more detailed in a book than you can on screen sometimes.
You can, and this is the thing. This is why a lot of Hollywood has been trying to adaptate a lot of comic books for the simple reason it's already done for them. And if you have like a comic book sitting around, it's already done because it's the same format for scripting.
Yeah.
For comics, and the only thing
like
they got to do is
it's like a storyboard.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I just think they should put, and I've said this in previous issues, and this is not about Sweet Tooth, but I do say this often and I want to repeat it. When they're doing things that has a lot of source material, I just wish they would either make it contractually obligated that you read the source material before you begin writing, or hire writers who are familiar with the source material.
And that's one of the things, along with this is why, I mean, this is kind of getting off track on certain things. No, it's not.
No, it's not. We haven't even gotten into the episodes yet.
It's like when I look at, I've expressed my feelings about the Umbrella Academy, and I enjoyed the book, the graphic novel, versus the first season. I haven't even touched the second season because I was so disappointed. And there was just so much needless changing. And the worst part about it, in my opinion, was that Gerard Way, the writer, he had a heavy hand in the creativity and the push on the direction on how the TV show was going to go, and along with overseeing the writers and directors and everything that was going on. And it's the same like with Sweet Tooth. I'm not mad at it. I love it because Jeff Lemire, the writer for Sweet Tooth, you know, he worked and watched over, you know, what Robert Downey and his team did to make this happen. And it's the same with a couple other things that's out there. Right. It's the same thing with The Boys.
Mm-hmm. And what you're saying that's so key, really quick, just to comment on that, and then we can jump in. What you're saying that's so key is you have writers and you have cinematographers, and writers are not cinematographers, but when you put them in the same room and you allow the minds to meld, or even to war with one another, just what the outcome is usually going to be much more beneficial versus when you just give the writer when they are not coming together, basically.
And you hit it dead on the nose, because it's a beautiful thing, and that's what they do with graphic novels. Graphic novels are just comic books in general. You have the writer, you have the artist, then you also have the editor to keep people on track, to make sure it goes the way it's supposed to go and it's not so convoluted if needed to be. And if it becomes a shit show, you just got a terrible editor, in my opinion.
It's possible. So so what were the names of these episodes?
When Birdie Met Pubba.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Is the 7th episode. Yeah.
Oh, right. When Pubba met Birdie, or when Birdie met
Probably.
That adaptation, How I Met Your Mother. And I want to say, was the other one called Big Man, or The Big Man Story, or something like that?
I don't remember, honestly.
I know it was about Jeff
Looking up right now.
or Tommy. Thomas.
Yeah, and that was crazy. You get to see some more on the back history of Big Man or Jet. You get to see like what happened. Like now, it's kind of you can question like, did this dude really join? The Last Men just to see if he can find his kid, or did he do all these terrible things because he was someone that loved? Because like he said,
Broken
my
man.
wife and my kid was just gone. So did he just become a person of hate? Which you kind of see like he doesn't hate hybrids,
Right.
or was he trying to infiltrate the system to find his own child?
Yeah. 10-year journey though. A lot of those things out there are changing, man.
Y'all think his kid's still alive?
Yes.
Yeah, me too.
I think there is definitely a goat kid somewhere. I thought it was pretty dope that he had a goat child. In the moment I seen it, I was like, "Oh, that's a baby goat." And then it gave the little bad, and I was like, "What you mad for, son? You gave birth to a centaur, like
Right.
or a minotaur, like centaur because minotaur has a animal head." But just thinking to myself, like, you gave birth to a Nephilim. What are you mad about?
It's the
you
thing
a
of
god, sir.
like I agree, based off of like how we see things and how like some awesome shit, but it's just one of those things where it kind of like mash up the reality of things. Like you as a parent, you're about to be a first time parent, and you hear your kid is going to be like
scary.
he's going to have like autism or something like that, or he's going to be deformed or have some type of health issue. And it's like, oh fuck. And when he gets in with what's his name? Dr. Singh, right? Singh. And I love that scene, and he just basically gives him some words of wisdom, and he's just like, he went back. I was thinking in that scene, like, is they gonna have that scene where he's just like, you know what, fuck this, and it's just like that life regret. But no, he went back, and he was like,
I think Singh said something like, "You'll be amazed what you'll do for the people that you love."
Right?
Yeah.
Yo, okay. And I know we want to hit on these episodes. I just have to share. You just opened an entire doorway for me into what this show can really stand for, symbolize, and help people with in our society. And it is our society's disconnect with the disabled community.
It hits in so many notes.
Yeah,
a lot of
mental
parallels.
health, all of that. Like,
definitely.
I don't know how or why that did not register to me until Dejan was literally just talking now about when you're having this child, and they may tell you all of these things. Him being a father, being able to put it into words or perspective of what we are all currently living, just made it took it off the screen and put it into reality. That was wow. I'm sorry. I just had to bring that out.
No, it's true.
Cool. Yeah.
Even in the concept of adopting a child too. Especially when we get to see what pigtails.
Yes.
Oh, man, I thought I loved this show already.
This is the beauty of discussion.
Yes, it is.
And just to reiterate, the last episode is called Big Man.
It is Big Man for sure. So how Pubba met Birdie, or how Birdie met Pubba? Wow.
Man-made virus.
Like,
it wasn't Wuhan, wasn't China, but yes. Let me shut up.
Oh man,
it was in the Arctic.
Nice.
We're in trouble now.
I heard that was somewhere in New York, but so the science of it, the viral, just finding out who Birdie is and what she was, which confirmed some of the things I was thinking earlier in this season.
Yo, how fucked up is it to meet a girl like at a bar and then have her be like, here's my dear baby, please take care of it.
Thank you, Nick. Because I was thinking, okay, look, as much as that was cool, like, it was like, wow, this is crazy. This is how they met. This is the first night they met.
They didn't even have sex, bro. Come on. What is it all about? What is
that? Right. I'm like, I know that's not supposed to be like the end all be all, like, oh, so he shouldn't have took care of the baby, because that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is, what was her last name, Richard? That's
Seemed
what we're
like
saying.
Exactly.
seemed
Yeah.
like
What
he was
is her
talking
last
to
name?
To a point.
A little bit. He was creeping on her for
He's
sure.
creeping on her. We barely found out her name was Gertrude. Thought we've been calling her Birdie the whole season. And we only know her name ain't Birdie, but Gertie from the one time she said it. Jeez. But yeah, no, that was absolutely nuts. But at the same time, it was kind of like this heart-touching, heartfelt kind of a episode. Just that journey you go through of them getting to know each other in these really small instances, which is why he couldn't tell Gus anything. He didn't know the woman.
He took responsibility off the
He
bat.
took full responsibility.
That point when they basically leave is at the beginning when he had the baby and he's like, "Fucking, I'm going into the forest."
Right, like when your purpose it presents itself. And what I thought was also beautiful about that is we discover that Richard wanted to write children's books for a living. So for him to rewrite all of these books that exist, but bind them and layer them and draw them and give all of the
dude was a crafter.
According to Gus, he's not very good at recreating.
Gus don't know shit.
Gus don't know he's a child.
Gus don't know that deers eat pellets. He think all the other deers eat apples.
Yo, but he was low key dissing his dad when
he was on his dad. And rightfully so. Listen, we've all been hurt. Imagine being a 9-10-year-old kid and you find this out. You already felt like you were alone and with these strangers that just happen to be helping you. And then you find out, oh, the only person I ever felt like I was connected to ain't even
not even your dad.
Bruh.
You don't even have a dad. You were just created.
I'm a test tube baby.
Yeah.
Word to Robin Harris.
No, keep going.
Yeah, no, just I was just gonna go back to starting at the bar scene. So she was like creeping on him, but it like somehow it flipped to him creeping on her by dialogue. But she was creeping on him from the very beginning. Make it make sense.
I don't know. I don't know if I can.
But so to find out, I'll just fast forward to the important parts though, because that was really just a lot of back and forth bullshit banter. It was entertaining. It was really great. But if we're talking about the thread of the storyline, that night really only matters from them seeing each other, him apologizing for making it awkward at the job. And then somehow you could literally skip from that to her. Somehow they're at her apartment. You don't even have to explain how they got to her apartment. And then she gets that call and all hell breaks loose. And also I commend Richard for taking responsibility. He didn't know the apocalypse was about to begin.
No, he had no clue. He was just the janitor.
Right.
Yeah.
She knew what she had just started. Right. I don't think she knew to that level. And I don't think, the military is aware that she had an anecdote because they never took the time to talk to her. And Gus had an anecdote.
Yes, yeah, which I think we've mentioned.
Yeah, we've definitely mentioned that.
And do you? So was it confirmed that that same lab created the virus as well?
Was it confirmed? Yes.
Okay. Yeah, because the thing is, she had stuff of it that was pertaining to it from the Arctic when they went, and they came back.
Core samples,
right. Alaska.
Yeah. And when they came back and it was working on it, and she was letting it be known, like, if it gets out, we're fucked.
Right.
And you got these people coming in tampering with your work. Well, of course, they don't want to understand it along with it. And I think this is why I think, and we kind of all kind of know, especially with the treatment. This is why not some of them, but all the hybrids have some type of vaccine within them to give, like where Sing's wife is getting that treatment, because now we got to know that Sweet Tooth is basically the first. Then something probably happened within the air dealing with genetically messing around with hybrids and this virus that probably mixed. In why people were having hybrid babies instead of saying, "Oh, it was a nature thing." This definitely seemed like it's just straight up science. Weird world.
Yeah, I was wondering if it might have had to do with the microbes from the core samples. Maybe they use the microbes because she said she was working on vaccines. But yeah, maybe they were using the microbes from the core samples, and then like those microbes thawed out and then created that virus.
And
Right.
this is why we see her at the very end, back in Alaska,
Right.
doing her work.
Right.
Yep.
And I think that's the whole roundabout, right? We begin episode 7 and then we end episode 8 in the same place. Episode 7 with the extraction of the sample, and even Judy says that what Birdie had always said was Gus and the virus are two sides of the same coin.
Right.
So what that says to me is, yeah, Gus didn't create the virus, but what she did with what she extracted from Gus created the virus.
Yeah, or the microbes helped create him and the virus.
As well as the virus, right?
Yeah,
which are both all highly probable and possible. That's simply how science works. There's chances, there's flaws, there's a million tests done and only like 4 are successful, and one of those 4 can possibly wipe out the entire planet. It's nuts, but that's science. Like 0.00001% chance, and that's probably the one that's going to actually take hold, and not the 67% chance. Like it is what it is. So within all of that, though, you have just this. I don't want to call it a bad thing, but we have this anomaly that's being created, and what I get out of these episodes is you have Gus, who was created in a lab. And then you have Wendy, Pigtail, who was the first natural born.
We find Tifa girl, that's her sister.
Yeah.
Right. And we find out that that's Bear or Rebecca, which I think it's cool that now she has a real name, Rebecca Walker. That's her sister. So that means that's Wendy Walker.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? Like, I'm just putting some dots together here. And it's really turning into this really beautiful kind of at least from the way I'm piecing it together, but it's like a beautiful montage, or even it's almost like a monologue of humanity. Like this show is literally like just one long speech from humanity itself.
Definitely. I mean, you really get that sense of it when all the hybrids are hugging at the end, and they're in the end of doom. Heart touch. I'm like, okay. Like, you're not alone. And you see you see Singh, he's like, he doesn't want to do it, but he has to do it.
Yeah.
Because his wife. So it's some interesting things. And I know that part where you get to see Big Man get shot. I was like, oh, Gus, you're a dumbass, but
something that was interesting to me about that, right? So these are military trained people. Clearly they are not military, but military trained, and somehow Abbott, who clearly used to be a part of the military, has seized a good amount of territory. They didn't shoot to kill.
Yeah, he got in like the top shoulder, right?
Yeah, right above the collarbone.
Right.
So they literally were just aiming at tissue. And this is a sniper, so I don't want to hear they were trying to kill him, and that's just sniper. Precision hits. They were trying to incapacitate him. They were not trying to kill him. It's very clear. And if they were trying to kill him, Abbott would have killed him when they were hovering over him, found out he used to be one of them, and still left him there breathing.
Yeah. And
now maybe you expect him to die, but that would mean Abbott's not inherently evil, and I don't buy that. So which side of that do you want me to run with?
For now.
That I don't think think I'm gonna think he's a good guy at some point. You ain't seen that in season 2. So.
Well,
I'm not yet.
He certainly wants to be able to. He certainly wants to be able to choose who lives and dies.
Oh, definitely. Sure. Oh, you're right. He said that. Never mind.
I've caught you as bluffing, but I want to charge this shit.
Yeah,
I like that though. I at least liked how when Singh's like, we were bluffing. Duh. Like, bro, of course you were bluffing. You know how long we've been working at this?
Right.
You just got here, not me.
Like, you're just gonna help me.
That's it. Like, I already killed the only other person that could have done the job, and I was gonna have to go find somebody. You're volunteering. Let's rock.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like it.
Now I do have a question. If you were Gus, how would you feel? if you were to find that file and
I mean, it
find out that
does.
your name,
Yeah.
his name's not even really Gus.
It's just an
Gus is the
acronym.
name of that's an acronym.
Mhm.
Genetic Unit Series 1.
Mhm.
Which means, again, she intentionally created Gus. Gus wasn't an accident.
Oh yeah,
The virus
No.
was an accident.
Yes, she definitely created Gus on purpose. To what end, I don't know,
Yeah.
because it's like
Did
didn't.
she inject a human child? How did that work? That part
But
we
she
don't
also
know.
didn't have any like maternal. I mean, like she did have maternal instincts, but like she had no plans on taking care of Gus.
Oh,
She was
that
just
was-
like, "Hey, random guy, here, random
had,
janitor."
Right. She had
the guy I was going to probably give it to tonight, but go.
Right. Oh, well, you wanted to have sex
Let's
with
skip
me,
the
which means you
sex
could've had
and
a
then
kid. Now
I'll
go
just
take
give
care
you
of
the
my kid.
baby. Yeah.
And that's the thing on that too. You say she had maternal instincts. I don't. I say she had owner instincts.
Yeah, that's fair.
Scientist wise,
Right.
it's her project.
That's it. And that's it. And notice, she's not dead. What is she doing? She's in Alaska
Doing her
probably looking
research
for
still.
another sample, doing her research, which means Gus is still just a project.
Yeah. Oh, that would suck. I hope they don't take that route, but I think that would make sense if they did.
I expect her to still be working with Abbott.
Maybe. Yeah.
How else would she have government access?
Fair. Yeah, that's true. Unless
now, again,
Alaska is like an untouched area.
Right. I was like, now again, I did say I believe that Abbott does not have an omnipotent control. He simply has seized the territory of maybe the North America territories or continent. But yeah, where she's at is military. So she is still in cahoots and doing research for someone or something.
Yeah.
And then we also still have to ask the question, because we don't know, and I don't think we ever will from everybody. Is she for or against hybrids?
Right. Yeah.
I think she's for. I mean, they're her own creation.
From which side of the ball, though? And if it's for science, then you're not for the hybrids.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why I have to ask the question.
I don't know, because if you think about Dr. Singh, then you also think about the doctor before him.
Dr. Singh could give a shit less about the hybrids. He cares about his wife.
To a point. I think he thinks the hybrids are a remarkable thing.
If Gus didn't say thanks, he would have cut his head open.
That's true. The only thing that saved him was talking.
He doesn't have to do anything. He could have stayed in the town with his wife. He didn't have to go with Dr. Singh. He wants to save his wife.
And it was the same. It's the same thing with the other doctor too, and the one before that, the one that faked that she has stage 4 cancer. I think it's a thing. You know, if you got a lick of humanity,
I think she
just empathy. She just, you know what? I'm tired of this shit. I'm butchering children. I'm butchering things. I need to just no more. You know, I think it's a thing that these people not want to do it, and that these people do have some sense of empathy. Because I think about Gus's so-called creator. Yeah, she could have did what she needed to do and kept it for observation, not knowing what would happen to Gus and such and such. I think it's a thing beyond ownership. I think there's some empathy there, not 100%, but there's some.
Well,
I cut that out too much.
I would hope so for sure. I mean, like
yeah.
you wouldn't want Gus to meet her and she's like, "Oh God, kill this thing!" You know,
God damn it, it's still alive. No,
she'll probably want to run tests and be like, "Oh, this is remarkable."
Let me hook you up to all the stuff. Yeah,
she'll definitely want to do that. Yeah, but I think that was the importance of Gus seeing the pictures of him with the tubes and everything, and them all being scientists and getting the understanding behind that, because he has to understand the reality of who and what he is. That's like
real fast,
right? Like Jep, for instance, he's an ex-football player. He or what ex-headbuster, let's call it, because clearly, you know, football and football for them was a little different from football from us, but maybe not. The point being, he has to he knows who he is. Like, he has to be this person in this light and this person in this light, and that is his purpose.
Yeah.
Gus is gonna have to be a little honest about who and what he is. He's
and
gonna
that's why that's why I like the two of them together. And I'm so glad that before he got shot, he was just like, "Yeah, man, you know what? Let's just be buds. Let's just keep going around together. Let's do our thing together."
Because he definitely connected after that. especially,
sure.
and he definitely opened up about his past to bring comfort and ease, and you kind of see it at the end when he wakes up. Yeah, I think what's her name, Amy,
Yeah.
Yes.
and she's like,
Oh, yeah.
let's go get our kids back, and it's like in a
Right.
sense you have that feeling like Gus is like his kid, the kid he could have
No,
had
for sure.
if he didn't run out.
Yeah.
Or well, he didn't quite run out, but
The
No, he
government
ran out.
didn't take it.
they did. They
No, he-
fucking took.
Listen, he ran out because he knew the reason they didn't want him up there is because if his kid was a hybrid, they were going to take his kid. Had he not run out, he would have been there to defend his kid. Now, he may not be here in this story, but that's for story purposes and just reality based, though. If it was about protection, he did run out. If we're talking about protection, he wasn't there to protect. But with you bringing up Amy, I already loved Amy from the very moment we met her, just her holing up in her office and then getting to the zoo, which we still weren't. That part, I'm still with Nick on that.
Yeah.
Hey, you get to see her office again.
Right. I'm glad she went back
Right.
there. I thought that was brilliant. Couple of issues. I like the whole firework thing. Fireworks are not blowing military people off of their feet.
No.
And the amount of firework you would have to collect to create an explosion in a vehicle, you're gonna have a much larger explosion. That's that. Not really gonna tear that apart because it was still a good scene. I liked it. But Amy learned these tactics where?
I guess it's just assumed that. I mean, we might find out in season 2.
You know, yeah, you're right. We may
Maybe.
find out because she's currently making attack plans for the preserve, and because she was there for so long, she definitely knows the lay of the land. So I'll actually retract that, and we might actually find out maybe she was a military kid or something. Military.
That's what
kids
I was
tend to
thinking.
Be
Yeah.
around that kind of stuff more often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then how did she lift Jep and put him in the truck? Because I knew that was her. That when the truck pulled up and hopped out, I was like, "Oh, that's Amy." And then he's in the back of the truck and they're rolling off, and I was like, "Oh, maybe that's not Amy." How did they get her? How did they get him in the truck?
Yeah, that's.
They don't call him Big Man for no reason.
Dude, that's
Listen,
my
I want to
wife.
say in real life, dude's like 6'8", 6'9" or something.
Yeah.
That bugged the shit out of my wife when we watched that. She was like, "Where's the logic in that? How the hell do you get that big ass dude on the back of that truck?" I'm like,
Only part of the entire
know.
series that right now in this moment it gives me anxiety. It's like, come on, you didn't have to be so. That was done poorly.
Yeah.
But I also understand how were you really going to explain that, even with movie magic. I'll wait.
That's a good question. I don't know. Maybe like a dolly or
Something. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, there are a couple of ways, but they all would have been tacky. I think at that point you might as well go the route they went. It happened.
Yeah, it happened. Just cut to him. Yeah.
It's cut to him crying and waking up.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, do you guys want to cut to it? Cut to our supposed ratings of it?
Yeah, because that's pretty much we've covered it. They ended all with her and Big Man in her office, and they're planning a siege, and she's been doing what she was doing before, manning the radios and listening to everything that Abbott and the boys say.
Yes. And that would probably, her being a military brat might explain why she knows ham radio.
Yep. And CB also.
And CB, yeah. So yeah, I think we'll probably learn more about her in the second season for sure.
Or a trucker kid.
Or a trucker kid, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, let's do ratings for sure. I can start if you want.
Yes, go for it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly did. I thought it was a good, cute show. I like the dynamic between Big Man and Gus. I think it's really sweet. I think that it's an interesting juxtaposition to have such like sweetness in such a dark world. Something you don't really see all that often. So yeah, I think it's a solid first season, and I'm looking forward to the second season, seeing where it goes. So I think I'm at right now. I'm gonna say I'm at like a 7.5. I think it's good. It's a solid show. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Yeah, 7.5 for me.
Very nice. Very nice. I will take the next one. We're gonna let Dejan go last because this is his day. Save the best for last, as they say. I enjoyed it as well. Nothing I can think of, like no really big, oh man, I can't believe this type of a takeaway. Of the things I don't like in this series, I know for a fact there's less than 5. I can only think of 2 off the top of my head. I'm gonna give this an 8. And I'm going to give this an 8 because if they were to do what mainstream television does and promise you another season that you never get, I will be disappointed to not get it. But at this very moment, I am not disappointed with the product. So
well, it's a surprise, especially with Netflix. You're crossing your finger at the end of certain seasons now.
Yeah. Very hit and miss.
Yeah. And some Netflix has done that in the past. We are thinking there's a season coming, but not usually once they put it on the app and say like, "Oh, there's a season on the way." We might wait 2 years, but that season comes.
Yeah, or it will. Just randomly, it's canceled. Like what? We didn't get all the ratings we wanted that first day, so it's canceled.
Yo, that has happened a few times.
Our DJ is too well connected to get canceled. I think he'll have at least another season or 2.
And he has, I believe he has a good following with this because of the source material as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, one of the shows I thoroughly enjoyed. I was comic book turn. It was something called Deadly Class, and the Russo brothers were behind it. And I'm just like, nah, but it got canceled. It's great, but it got canceled. And I guess it has something to do with it being on Sci-Fi, a bunch of other good stuff that got canceled. But it is what it is.
Go down the list of things that have been canceled. We might even just do an episode naming all the great things that got canceled and giving them like 3 minutes apiece.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, I'm gonna give you an 8 as well. I loved a lot of things about it. Only thing I can probably take away from it would probably be it could have did some. I'm gonna be nitpicky with this. Going back to episode 2 and that bear trap, I would like to see a little bit more gore.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, I'm not much for it, but I think it deserves it in certain spots. And in this show, it did deserve it in certain spots. Besides seeing blood on Big Man's chest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could have definitely sharpened some of that wholesomeness with horror,
right?
For sure.
It definitely could have.
With you bringing up the blood on Big Man's chest, I liked that. The blood patches on there, and then Gus touching him, and then Gus having the blood. Oh my God, I apologize for that, guys. Gus having the blood on his hands as he grabbed onto the cage and they were hauling him off. That was pivotal. If his hands did not have blood on them, that scene would not have hit the same.
That's true. That's true for sure. Which puts us at a 7.8 for season 1 of Sweet Tooth.
Very nice. Cool. I didn't even hear Deshaun. What
Very
was your
respectable.
Rating?
He said 8.
It was an 8.
An 8. Okay. Yeah, I didn't even hear that one.
Solid.
8. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. I think that definitely puts it in our top 5 for sure.
Yes.
For shows, I think it puts it at like number 1.
Yeah, it's up there for sure. It's in the top 5 for shows, definitely. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, then I'll close this out. All right, you guys. Thank you. Much appreciated for you guys joining us tonight on this not so olden day, Wednesday, on Screen Time Continuum. If you like what we do, come check and see what we do individually. From Keelan that does Numbers Can Talk on Tuesdays at 8:30 or 8 o'clock, 8:30.
8 o'clock.
It varies. It varies. I mean, we're all human and we do have to live.
Hey, if you really want to know if there's a Laker game on that day, no, I'm joking.
And you can check out Nick and his lovely wife and a buddy of ours with Exophasm on Mondays at 8 o'clock as well.
Yes, sir.
And then if not, you can check out whenever I'm not getting kicked off of YouTube and Twitch for simple things with strawberries and coffee, catching some gameplay of certain video games I decide to play. So, and if not, and you just want to come and hang out with us here on the Screen Time Continuum channel, hey, just come and check us out on them Sundays and Wednesdays at 8:30, or when we try our best to.
Mhm.
So, and we'll see you guys Sunday, hopefully with a Halloween treat.
Oh
Domingo,
yeah,
Domingo.
spooky ween.
Pressure.
All right, folks, you guys have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it, guys.